Hello. Let's look at this. Uh, let's look at this question. WASSCE November 2018, question 5. The probabilities that Ade, Kofi, and Fatih will pass an examination are 2/3, 5/8, and 3/4, respectively. Find the probability that A, the three of them will pass the examination. Okay, we are going to work them one by one. All right. And you can see I've underlined from the C. Okay, this was core maths question, and the actual question was from A to C. Okay, but I have added 4 questions to it so that any type of question you get under probability question like this, where you are giving 3 events, okay, you'll be able to what? You'll be able to solve. All right. Okay, so because of the nature of the question asked, we are giving Kofi, Fatih, Ade, Kofi, and Fatih passing an exams. All right. So before that, let's see that let Ade equal to A, Kofi equal to K, so that we can use their initials for their probability, and Fatih equal to F. Okay. So we are going to use the initials for the probability. So 1, because we are giving the probability of them passing the exams, let's also find probability of them not passing the exams. Okay, so that when we are done with all the probabilities, then we can answer all the questions there. Okay, so probability of Ade passing is 2/3. If that is the case, then probability of Ade not passing, you put a bar on top of the passing, 1 minus 2/3, and that will give us 1/3. All right. Then probability of Kofi passing, that is 5/8. If that is the case, then probability of Kofi not passing will be 1 minus 5/8. And that will give 1 minus 5 will give us 3/8. Okay. Then probability of Fatih passing, we are giving 3/4. It implies that probability of Fatih not passing, 1 minus 3/4, and that will give us 1/4. Okay. So we have gotten all our probabilities. Okay, we have gotten our probabilities. And since we have gotten our probabilities, I think we can answer the questions. A, find the probability that the 3 of them will pass the examination. If the 3 of them will pass the examination, then it means Ade will pass, and Kofi will pass, and Fatih will pass. So take note that there are 3 events happening here: Ade, Kofi, and Fatih. So anytime you are writing your probabilities, it means you multiply 3 fractions. Okay, if there is a condition, that is where the or will come in. Okay, then you bring your plus, and even if you add anything, it means that still you have to multiply these 3 fractions or these 3 probabilities. Okay, all right. So anytime you are solving a question, the events are 3. It means when you are multiplying, your multiplication is definitely will be 3 fractions. If there is or, that is plus, it means you still have to. So anytime multiplication has to be 3 fractions. If there are 2 events, then the multiplication has to be 2 fractions. All right. Okay. So if all the 3 will pass, then it means Ade will pass, Kofi will pass, and then Fatih will pass. So and all the 3. So A, probability of 3 of them passing, all the 3 passing is equal to, we are saying Ade will pass. So what's the probability that Ade will pass? That is 2/3. And times Kofi will pass, 5/8. And Fatih will also pass 3 on 4. So all the 3 will pass. This is how your answer will be. Okay. Ade will pass, Kofi will pass, and Fatih will also pass. So 2 on 3 times 5 on 8 times 3 on 4. And that will give us 5 on 16. So that is the probability that all the 3 will pass. 2 over 3 times 5 over 8 times 3 over 4. Okay, that is 5 on 16. Okay, so we are done with the A. Let's go to the B. Probability of none of them will pass the exams. If none of them will pass, then Kofi will not pass, Ade will not pass, and Fatih will not pass. Kofi won't pass, Ade won't pass, and Fatih won't pass. So all the 3 are not going to pass. So probability of none of them passing. The probability of none of them pass. Where is none of them passing? So if Ade will not pass, the probability is 1 over 3. And Kofi will not pass, 3 over 8. And Fatih will not pass, 1 over 4. Okay, so these are your probabilities that all the 3 are not going to pass. Okay, so use the calculator. 1 over 3 times 3 on 8 times 1 on 4. 1 over 3 times 3 on 8 times 1 on 4 will give us 1 on 32. 1 on 32. So that is the probability that all the 3 are not going to pass. 1 on 32. Alright. So let me clean here and continue. Let's look at the C, the third question. Ade and Kofi only will pass. Ade and Kofi only will pass. Okay, so here what it means is that the 3 events all have to happen. Okay, or they are all happening. So if Ade and Kofi only will pass, then it means that there's one person that is going to fail. Okay, we have Ade, Kofi, then it is Fatih that will not pass. So Ade will pass and Kofi will pass, and Fatih will not pass because it is Ade and Kofi only that is passing. So probability of Ade and Kofi only passing. So what does it mean? If Ade and Kofi is only passing, then definitely Fatih is not passing. So it means Ade will pass, Kofi will pass, and Fatih will not pass. Okay, the question won't tell you, but we have to know there are 3 events happening. And as I said, because there are 3 events, when you are multiplying the fractions, you multiply 3. So if Ade and Kofi only pass, then it means Fatih will not pass. So you will have Ade passing is what? 2 on 3. And Kofi is also passing 5 on 8. However, they are the only 2 that will pass. It means the other person will not pass. Fatih not passing is 1 over 4. So that we multiply the 3. So 2 on 3 times 5 on 8 times 1 on 4. And that will give us 5 on 48. 5 on 48. Okay. So that's for the C. Let's go to the D. So in the question or in the 2018 WASSCE November question, okay, these were all that they were required to do, just 1, 2, and 3. Okay, but I have added this so that any type of question you get, you'll be able to answer. D, 2 of them will pass the examination. Only 2 is going to pass the examination. All right, so if 2 of them will pass the examination, then what does it mean? So So it means that there is one person that is going to fail. But the question was not specific to the person that is going to what? That is going to fail. The question said 2 of them are going to pass the examination. Okay? It means that we have to make sure 2 will pass and 1 fail. And we have to consider all the possibilities in the question. Alright, so let's see. Probability of 2 of them passing. So if you look at the question C, it was specific that Ade and Kofi are the 2 of them that will pass. It means Fatih fail, okay, or Fatih will fail. Here it says just 2 of them. So we have to consider all the possibilities that can happen. So it means that if 2 of them will pass, then Ade will pass, and then Kofi will pass, and then Fatih will not pass. That is what can happen. Or Ade will pass and Kofi will not pass, and then Fatih will also pass. So this can also happen, that here Ade and Kofi is passing, Fatih is not passing. Here Ade and Fatih is passing, Kofi is not passing. Or probability of Ade will not pass, and then Kofi will pass, and then Fatih will also pass. So these are the 3 possibilities that we can get. Alright, so we have to consider all the possibilities, that here either Ade and Kofi will pass and then Fatih will fail, or it can happen that Ade and Fatih pass and Kofi will fail, or Kofi and Fatih will pass and Ade will fail. So what should happen is that only 2 should pass at a time, but the 2 that will pass we don't know. So we have to consider all the possibilities, and that is all the possibilities we have considered. Okay, so 2 will pass at a time and 1 will fail. So if Ade is passing, what is the probability? 2 on 3, and then Kofi will also pass, 5 on 8, and then Fatih will not pass, 1/4. Or it can happen that Ade is passing, 2 on 3, and Kofi is not passing, that is 3 on 8. And Fatih will pass, that is 3 on 4. Or it can happen that Ade will not pass, that is 1 on 3, and then Kofi will pass, that is 5 on 8, and then Fatih will also pass, that is 3 on 4. Alright, you can see that 2 are passing at a time. So let me put it on the calculator and then we are good to go. So 2 on 3 times 5 on 8 times 1 on 4. 2 on 3 times 5 on times 1 on 4 will give us 5 on 48. So 5 on 48 plus 5 on 48 plus, so we have 2 on 3 times 3 on 8 times 3/4, and that will give us 3 on 16. 3 on 16 plus 1/3 times 5 on 8 times 3 on 4. That is 5 on 32. Okay. 1/3 times 5 on 8 times 3/4. So we are going to add all. So 5 on 48 plus 3 on 16 plus 5 on 32. 5 on 48 plus 3 on 16 plus 5 on 32 will give us 43 on 96. 43 on 96. So the probability that 2 of them will pass is 43 on 43 on 96. 43 on 96. Okay. So let's continue. E. Only one of them will pass the examination. Only one. So here was 2 of them. Here is only one. So probability of only one person. So only one of them. So it means that if it is only one, then Ade will pass, Kofi will fail, and Fatih will fail. Or Kofi will pass, Ade will fail, Fatih will fail. Or Fatih will pass, Kofi will fail, and Ade will also fail. So one will happen at a time. So only one. So if it is only one, then Ade will only pass, and Kofi will not pass, and then Fatih too will not pass. That is only one. Or okay, so or it can happen that Ade will fail, and then Kofi is the only one person, and then Fatih will also fail. Or it can happen that Ade will fail, and then Kofi will also fail, and then Fatih is the only person passing. Okay, so we can see that in all our possibilities, only one is passing at a time. Ade is only the only person passing here. Kofi is the only person passing here, and then Fatih is the only person passing here. So that is only one of them will pass. And it is the same as when the question says 2 of them will fail. Alright, 2 of them will fail. Okay, and here too the same as 1 of them will fail. Alright. So now let's Ade pass the result 2/3. So 2 on 3 times Kofi failing 3 on 8 times Fatih failing 1 on 4. Or the second option, Ade will fail 1/3. 1/3. And Kofi will pass 5 on 8. And then Fatih will fail 1/4. Or then we have the third option. It can also happen that Ade will fail. That is 1/3. And Kofi will also fail. That is 3 on 8. And Fatih will pass. That is 3 on 4. Okay, so these are the possibilities. Alright. So 2/3 times 3/8 times 1/4, and that will give us 1/16 plus 1/3 times 5/8 times 1/4. That will be 5/96, or 1/3 times 3/8 times 3/4. That will be 3/32. So let's put all the 3 together. We will have 1/16 plus 5/96 plus 3 on what? 32. And that will give us 5/24. 5/24. So probability that only one of them will pass is 5/24. 5/24. Okay. We have the last 2 to solve. Let's continue. F at okay, we are done with the E. Only one of F. At least one of them will pass. Okay. at least one. So probability of at least one of them passing. Okay, so if it is at least one of them passing, then what does it mean? At least one should pass. So it can happen that one of them will pass at a time. At least one means one or more. Either one of them will pass at a time, or two of them are going to pass, or all the three will pass at a time. So see how it is going to be. Under the at least passing, because the events are three, we have a lot of work to do. Okay, you look at one of them passing, which is even only this, and either two of them is passing, or all the three is going to what? Is going to pass. So there's a lot of work to be done. Fortunately for us, I think we have solved all the three here. Okay, but I'm going to look at it, and then I'll also teach us another way we can solve what? We can solve the same question without stressing ourselves with all the outcome or all the possibilities. All right. So if at least one of them is going to pass, then look at probability that either only one will pass. If only one will pass, then look at all this. Okay, that is so see, it's like this one. Only one of them will pass. So only one of them will pass. It's like this one. Ade is passing here, and then Kofi is passing here, and then Fatih is passing. This is just one. Then because it is at least one, you also look at two of them passing. Then you go and look at if two of them is pass or two of them can pass. So two of them can also be probability. So this is two. So two, Ade and Kofi here, Ade and Fatih here, Kofi and Fatih here. So all the two is here. All right. So this is just two, and then you come and look at probability of all the three. Ade will pass, and Kofi will pass, and Fatih will pass. You see, so imagine you doing all this work at a time. This is very tedious. You're doing all this work, but even fortunately for us, this has already been done. So we are going to just substitute the value, and so imagine that you have not done all this, and you are now going to do them one by one. It means that you will struggle with the question. So I want us to finish this, then I'll come and teach how you work the same question without going through all this. So let's look at the answer we had for only one of them passing, which is up to this point, and then all the two, only two will also pass, and then all the three will pass. Then we add, and then we get our. So if it's only one of them pass, that is what we have of 5 on 24. Okay, that is for only one of them passing. Then we look at the two passing, the answer we also have. Okay, so as I said, you realize that we have solved for at least one of them passing. We had what? 5 on 24, and then two of them passing. I think when we saw, we had 43 on 96. So if you can check as you are following, you realize that when you saw for the two of them passing, okay, we had 43 on 96, and then when you saw for all the three passing, we also had 5 on 16. Okay, so you are going to add this three and get your answer. So that will be 5 on 24 plus 43 on 96 plus 5 on 16, and that will give us 31 on 32. 31 on 32. That is at least one of them passing. Okay, so imagine that we had not solved for one of them passing, two of them passing, and all the three passing, and we are going to solve for all this. It will be very tedious. So there is another way you can work this particular question, okay, without stressing yourself passing all this. Okay, so note here, see, The totality of probability is 1. Okay, this is the totality. Let's say from here to here can give us all the possibilities. It is totality when you add them is 1. And because the events are 3, this is what can happen. It can happen that none of them will pass, which is 0. Only 1 will pass, 2 will pass, or all the 3. So you see that the at least one falls within 1 person, 2 of them passing, or all the 3 passing. That is at least 1. So what we can do is that because we know the total from here to here is giving us 1, then we are calculating for this particular point from this side to this side. Okay, then what we can do is that why don't we find this particular side, that is none of them passing, and then subtract from 1 so that we can get all that we need from here. So all we need to do, okay, go from here to here is at least 1. We will find here, okay, which is none of them passing. Then because the total is 1, then we subtract from 1 and then we get what we need here. Okay, so when you are giving such questions, don't waste a lot of time doing all this. At least one can be that we can find the probability of none of them and subtract from 1 and get the answer that we need, because the totality is 1. So at least 1 is 1, 2, or 3. Let's find none and subtract from 1 and get our answer. Is that okay? So let's try that and see. So alternatively, the probability of at least one of them passing, okay, will be equal to 1 minus none of them passing. 1 minus probability of none of them passing. Okay, so realize that the none of them passing, that was the P, we had 1 on 32. So we just say 1 minus 1 on 32, and then 1 minus 1 on 32 will give us 31 on 32, which is the same as this one, 31 on 32. All right, that is the probability of at least 1 per. You see that you have been able to work this in short possible time. So if none of them pass and you are supposed to, you know what to do. The coffee will not pass. That will be 1 minus probability of Ade not passing, and then coffee not passing, and then Fatih also not what? Not passing. So that you work this, you subtract from 1 and then you get your answer. So that is how it's supposed to be. So very simple. Now you have to be smart. All right, let's look at the last one. Okay, probability of at most 2 of them passing. At most 2. What does at most 2 means? At most 2 means that with the 3 people that we have there, those who will pass or shouldn't exceed 2 people. At most, at the highest 2. So at most 2 means that 2 of them can pass, or it can even be 1 or none of them. You see that thing? So at most 2 or less. Either 2 of them is passing, or 1, only 1 of them is passing, or even none of them. Because it is either 2, the highest that should pass should be 2. So 2 or less. And we know that probability, because these are 3 events, okay, it can happen that we can have what? None passing, 1 of them, and then 2 of them. So if you look at the at most 2, and you have to do all this, probability of none of them passing, which is this one, probability of 1 of them passing, which is this one, probability of 2 of them also passing, which is also this one. Okay, you realize that you are going to waste a lot of time, so find the probability of all the 3 of them passing. Okay, because what we need is at most 2, which means 2 or less. So 2, 1, or 0 or none. So find the probability of 3 of them passing, and then subtract from 1, and you get all that you need, because the total of this will give us 1. All right, so at most 2 of them passing can be probability of 1 minus probability of all the 3 passing. Okay, so 1 minus all the 3 passing. All the 3 pass, it means that Ade will pass, Kofi will pass, and then Fatih will also pass. Okay, so let's look at, because we have solved all of them, let's look at them and then we see, so that we don't solve them again. Is that okay? Okay, so you realize that when we solved all the 3 passing, he had what, 5 on 16. 2 of them passing, he had 4 on 93. 1 of them passing, he had 5 on 24. And none of them passing, we have 1 on 32. So if you have all this, then I think this will help us. So at most 2 passing can be 1 minus all the 3 passing. What is all the 3 passing? That is 5 on 16. And I think this will give us what? 16 minus 5, 11. 11 over 16. And I said that, you see, you can solve this question. Really, they say at most 2 of them passing is the same as at most 2. That is 2 will pass. So 2 or less, 1 will pass and none will pass. So it means when you add 1, 2, 3, you should get 1 over 11 on 16. Let's try that and see. All right. So, or our answer can be at most 2, 43 over 96. That is 2 passing. Less, so 1, 5 on 24, or none of them, 1 on 32. Okay, so let's try and then see if we will get the same answer. So 43 on 96 plus 5 on 24 plus 1 on 32. Yes, we have 11 on 16. 11 on 16. So you realize that we are getting the same answer. All right, we have the same answer. So when question come on, they can ask you a lot of questions. It can be at most 1. If it is at most 1, that will be this plus this, 1 or less. All right, it can be at least 2. At least 2 means 2 or more. That will be this 1 plus this. That is those who pass all the 2 and pass all the 3. You see that? So depending on the question, and realize that 1, 2, 3, 4. When you add all of them, it will give you 1, because that is all that can happen. Either none of them, 1 of them, 2, or all the 3. And the addition of all this will give you 1. So 5 over 16 plus 43 on 96 plus 5 on 24 plus 1 on 32. Yes, it is 1. You can see we are getting 1. So you can add them and see. Addition of 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1. So that is the totality of the probability, and that's what we can see happen. Okay. Though our lesson has been learnt, but I believe you have learned something. And when you get a question, you should be able to answer. Be smart about answering the question. Okay. So when you are doing it, look at the side that is long, and do the other side and subtract from 1, and you get the same answer. I believe you have enjoyed this. I have enjoyed it too myself. Make sure to subscribe and share to others for them to also learn on this. I'll see you again in our next lesson. Bye bye.